global master plan of the United Nations for the 21st century. And it says in there, and I quoted it verbatim, this is a plan that's going to affect every person on Earth. It's going to affect every aspect of your life. We have plans here for businessmen and students and doctors and lawyers and farmers and ranchers and manufacturers and steel workers. They list every possible person and occupation. They say this is going to affect every part of the planet, from deserts to tundra to forests to prairies to mountains to streams and lakes and ponds and virtually everything.
But, I mean, that is the issue now, is that before it was global government, but they were covert. Now they come out and say, we run the whole planet, humans are bad, we want to bankrupt industrial societies, and if you try to come to our meetings, we beat you up. I mean, these are open tyrants. They know they're tyrants. They've got, 18-year-old rent-a-mobs. They give $100 a day to run around and, act foolish. But here it is. But, William F. Jasper, in your decades of fighting these people, do you see us beginning to gain momentum, the pendulum beginning to slow in its swing towards tyranny? That's why they're trying to come out in the open now and force it and finish their agenda, because major cracks in the foundation of their system are appearing? Or are you more pessimistic?
No. I'm optimistic in that, and I think this what we've seen in the last couple of months, verified by the Rasmussen poll and the Pew poll and the CBS poll, showing the plummeting support for any kind of climate change legislation. The belief in AGW, anthropogenic global warming, as a crisis, all of that has been crashing down faster than our great scientist Al Gore's credibility, and that's because people still have more common sense than the elitists give them credit for.
Plus the system is so discredited now. I mean, it doesn't matter what party it is, where it is in the world. People are finally getting that healthy mistrust of government.
Right, and it has to increase a great deal more, because they recognize that people are getting wise to them, and so that's why they're pushing so arrogantly and adamantly now. Because if they keep losing, if you and I and others are able to continue waking people up, they're just not going to get it through. And so they're really panicky about that. That they've invested so much over these last 20 years to push this whole environmental charade that it could melt like a ice cream cone here in Al Gore's movie. So they're really concerned about that, and they have a right to be. Even before ClimateGate, most of the polls were already showing this collapse of belief in the crisis, in the apocalypse that they're claiming is coming. And you and I both know. Look, they're saying they want to re-engineer all of society. You have guys like one of the big gurus of global warming, Clive Hamilton, professor from Australia, and he says that this is a time where it calls for emergency measures. We have to talk about suspending democratic processes. And you have guys like George Monbiot saying we need to issue a ration card for every person on the planet. You get only so much CO2, and you can ration. And
you have John P. Holdren writing a textbook about putting sterilants in the water, and now Fox News is calling for putting lithium in the water to make the public more well-behaved. I mean, we are living in the twilight zone, and they can normalize insanity if we don't say no. Look at the Nazi culture. Look at the Aztec culture.
So it's encouraging that people are waking up and saying no to this, in spite of the fact that we have the media so heavily controlled by people who are promoting this. But it's galloping out very quickly, and so we've got to accelerate the wake-up process.
Well, guys, we're almost out of time, and I wanted to
let me turn you back over to Alex so he can...
But before you do that, William, you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, no, I before you do that, I wanted to thank you for coming on with us. And you were talking about uploading videos. Can we see these videos, these reports you guys have filed? And if so, where are they posted?
We already have some of them available on the newamerican.com or at jbs.org. either one of those. And we've been doing it, so running back and forth, shooting photos, doing interviews, uploading to. So I haven't had a chance to even check to see how many of them are up there yet, but a number of them are. You can see, for instance, in our one on the anti-nuclear, one that went up today, it's called NGO demonstrators, no to coal, no to oil, no to nuclear. And you can see some of the Renamob that's here. They wouldn't allow Moncton in, or many of these qualified PhDs and scientists went up, but they allow these folks to come in. And if you go on the website that I show you there, you see they have outright communist parties with communist flags, hammers, and sickles as part of their coalition. Yet they're allowed to come in here, and the good guys aren't.
Absolutely. Well, good talking to you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Let me talk to Alex now. Alex, we only got a few minutes left in this segment.
Okay, I'll turn you over to Alex. Thanks so much.
Thank you. You bet.
Bye now.
Thank you.
Hey, Alex, how's it going?
Good. Go ahead and in the last couple minutes we have, any other key points you want to relay to the audience, Alex Newman, from the Global Government Summit?
Yeah, well, the one thing that I've found is the most incredible is you have this 800-pound gorilla in the room, which is ClimateGate, of course, and just about everybody here at least knows what it is. Some of them don't know exactly what it's about because they've already dismissed it because it contradicts the global warming phase. But it's just incredible. I've been talking to just about everybody I meet about it, and journalists in particular, and that's where I've been getting the most interesting answers. I've met one journalist out of dozens and dozens that I've spoken with who's filed a story related to ClimateGate. She interviewed one of the IPCC people on Switzerland national radio about ClimateGate, and of course he just went on there and said, "Oh, it's no big deal. The science is settled, and that's just a side issue, a distraction." But I also talked to some of the Congress people that were here. Nancy Pelosi was here. As soon as she answered one of my questions, and then as soon as I asked her about ClimateGate, she turned away and pretended she didn't hear it. I asked Charlie Rangel, the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, powerful congressman, about ClimateGate, and he looked at me a bit puzzled and just said, no, we're just here to support the process, and of course the science is settled. So it's just been across the board, everybody you talk to just about, it uses the same mantra over and over again. The science is settled, you can't ask questions. But it's even come out within the last 2 days now. The Russian Institute of Economic Analysis, I believe it's called, has been calling doubt on the figures used by the Hadley office at the Met office in England, which is supposed to be the other reputable scientific place to prove global warming. And it turns out now they've used, I think, only 25% of the weather stations that were provided to them from Russia's territory. And, of course, they used the ones that showed their hypothesis to be correct, that there's warming. And they ignored the other 75%, which either didn't show significant warming or didn't show warming at all. So you have just this horrible farce of a science, pretend science, and nobody is willing to talk about it. So it's just, like I said, the elephant in the room, and nobody wants to address it. So hopefully with shows like yours, we can just keep getting the word out, you know.
We are exposing these frauds, and if we stand up and rebuke them and decide that we're supposed to be involved in society for good, we can stop them. Alex Newman from Copenhagen, thank you for spending time with us. Godspeed.
Thank you, Alex. You too.